That's the point, isn't it? In one respect, this is very significant. It means that Britain will not be crashing out of the EU tomorrow without a deal, and it's pretty clear that the British government didn't want that, the British Parliament didn't want that, and it's quite clear that the EU doesn't want that as well. But on the other hand, to coin a phrase, nothing has changed. We're still past the deadline. We're still without a deal. The only deal that's on the table is the one that Theresa May has negotiated with the European Union, and that's one that the British Parliament has rejected 3 times. So it's 6 months. The message is that time has got to be used wisely, not to be wasted. But the same pressures are still on the Prime Minister to be able to get out of this impasse, and it's very difficult to see how she's going to do it.
And isn't the problem that if it is the same Prime Minister in control of the UK, we're going to find ourselves in exactly the same situation in another 6 months' time? I mean, this is Theresa May, who said she would not accept an extension beyond the end of June. Well, she has. She doesn't appear to be prepared to step down until she has seen through what she thinks is the Brexit process. But she also doesn't seem to be able to deliver that with the majority in Parliament. So is it going to be Theresa May who manages to see through this Brexit process, or what's the alternative?
Yeah, I mean, that's the point, isn't it? I mean, there is... Part of the issue is perhaps the way that the Prime Minister goes about these negotiations, both with the EU and with her own country. But it's not just the same Prime Minister that we have. We have the same Parliament, and this is a Parliament which has consistently rejected the Prime Minister's deal. But it's also one which has rejected no deal, and so far has failed to back any alternative deal. Whether Theresa May is there or not, the parliamentary arithmetic remains until such a time as we have a general election. There are many in her party now who expect, or at least want, the Prime Minister to be replaced maybe even this year. Now, if that's to happen, it's likely to happen over the summer, but that gets in the way, of course, of this 6 months that the UK has been given. So it remains a very messy situation.
And what about these cross-party talks that have started over the last couple of weeks? Are they likely to bear any fruit?
Well, they don't appear to have done so far, and of course part of the well, certainly the message that's coming out from the opposition Labour Party is that while talks have been constructive, the government's position and Theresa May's position is that actually this deal that has been negotiated with the EU is the only real deal that's available. Labour's position really revolves around a much softer Brexit, a member of, if not the customs union, then some sort of customs union with single market alignment to some degree. But Labour's position also is to have a confirmatory referendum. That's not necessarily the leader of the opposition's position, but it is the confirmed policy of the Labour Party. Now, the position that Theresa May is in now is that having distanced herself from the idea of a referendum on her own deal, she might be in the position where if she agrees something with Labour, it needs to go to back to the people. So she would end up with a deal going to the people that's not her own deal, it's her deal plus something of the Labour parties, and that gets her in big trouble again with her own parliamentary party.